Howdy folks, welcome to my retro media room, and today I decided to talk about my top 10 most valuable GameCube games. And there's going to be a couple surprises here for me because I hadn't looked at my GameCube games in a minute and discovered a couple that I didn't realize had gone up in value lately. So to start with, at number 10 we have Baiton Kos Origins, at least I believe that's how you pronounce it, which is actually part one of two in a compilation on Switch right now, in a remastered compilation. And I plan on getting that. It's a little pricey right now. It's still fairly new though, so not too bad. But I plan on getting that here. So that's the better way to play it at this point. But the value is held for the original copy here. The other one as well, but this one more so. This one's almost like twice as much as the other one, I believe. And the reason I got this at the time, because not only was it a GameCube exclusive RPG, but I heard that some of the former key developers from Xenogears were involved with this, so I thought that was that intrigued me. Be like, oh well, I love Xenogears so much, so I figured to give this a shot at some point. I haven't played it yet, but I want to get that compilation on the Switch and play them both that way. That'd be preferable. All right, and at number 9 we have FZero GX. So of course this game, similar to the one on 64. Extremely fast, high frame rate. I've hardly played this one, but I've seen a lot of people talk about it. It has a fan following. That's why it's worth some money, because it's popular and people hold on to them. Really, GameCube games in general have just gone up and up and up. They are hard. You never see them in stores anymore, in retro stores, media stores, whatever the case you have in your local area. You just don't see Dreamcast, GameCube, and Sega Saturn games. You just hardly see it all anymore. Whereas like Super Nintendo, PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2 and 3, and Xbox 360, and like you see those quite a bit. But for some reason, Saturn, GameCube, Dreamcast, you barely see anything for anymore. GameCube was kind of the last to go. All right. And at number 8, we have Eternal Darkness, Sanity's Requiem. So this game is fantastic. I love this game. This was like, I think the second game or one of two games I got for the GameCube when I first got the GameCube, because I got the GameCube a year later after it came out. I got it along with the Xbox about 1 year after it came out in like 2002. So I was a little later to it by the time I got mine. And I had this and Smash Brothers, and yeah, I believe it was this and Smash Brothers my first couple games, and then Resident Evil Remake and so on, right? So yeah, this game is great, fantastic story, good gameplay, unique psycho mechanics where you lose or sanity mechanics where you lose your sanity slowly if you don't remedy yourself with I think it's basically like a status item you get, and it clears your sanity. But if you don't do it, you slowly go insane, and it starts to break the fourth wall and sanity effects. It's really awesome. Voice acting and everything. It's a great game. I love this game. Okay, and at number 7, we have Metal Gear Solid, the Twin Snakes, the player's choice. So apparently the player's choice is worth slightly more. Once again, that trend of the player's choice versions of games being worth slightly more because there's just fewer of them, I guess. So this game, it's a complete remake of the original Metal Gear Solid on PlayStation 1. And they added the title Twin Snakes. Me personally, even though it's a good game, it's very interesting as a GameCube exclusive, and to this day is the only way you can play this. That's why it's worth money now, is because this is the only way you can play it. But me personally, I prefer the PlayStation 1 original. I think for me, this one kind of, even though yes, it has the engine from Metal Gear Solid 2 and it looks better, and for me, the style of the original remains true. This one, they went a little bit too Matrixy for me. So I get what they were doing. It was the style at the time, but I just prefer the tone and style of the original, me personally, right? And this is the one I started with, so naturally I'm biased. Okay, and at number 6, we have Mario Party 6. So I do have a microphone. I can't remember which one it came with, but I do have a microphone on the GameCube for this one. I think this and 7 both use it. There's a version of this that comes packed with it, and it even has it on the box. I don't have that version, clearly. but at least I do have the microphone. So, but I had to consider like this version not having it noted on the front that it comes with the microphone as the version that I actually have of this. Of course, I love Mario Party as a series, and I do have all the GameCube Mario Parties as well as the N64 Mario Parties, and I think I have the first Wii U Mario Party, which was Mario Party like 9 or 10, I forget, but anyway. So yeah, so this one I have not played. I think I played Mario Party 4 on GameCube, 4 or 5. So this is one of the ones I haven't gotten around to yet. It's a little boring by yourself. You want to have friends or family to play Mario Party with, but that's the beauty of Mario Party. It is fantastic to play with friends and family. So much fun. All right. And at number 5, we have Mario Kart Double Dash. Specifically, this one that comes with the bonus playable demo disc or playable demos. This is worth slightly more. I made it a point to when I saw this version, I got a hold of it for really a fair price at the time, and knew that it was going to be a little bit unique. I thought it'd be interesting to have. And of course, Double Dash is a fantastic Mario Kart. Love this game. There's many people that actually it's their favorite Mario Kart. So that and I don't disagree. I mean, it's a great Mario Kart. Me personally, it's always been 64, but hey, this is a fantastic game. It got 10s out of 10s from critics back in the day, and people always really liked this one. It was easily one of the best GameCube games. If you had a GameCube, you really needed this game. Okay, and at number 4, we have Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. So obviously, this is a PlayStation 1 original game that they ported to the GameCube, and this is a very nice version of the game to play. There's also a Dreamcast version, which is a fantastic way to play it too. So really, you can't go wrong with any of them, whether it be PlayStation 1, this GameCube, or the Dreamcast. They're all good ways to play this classic game. You have the remake now, which is good, but it kind of fell short in certain ways from the original in terms of level design and content. So yeah, the classic here is a fantastic Resident Evil with the Jill Valentine and everything, and it's really great. And I'm glad I have this. I knew it was getting harder and harder to get a hold of, and getting more and more expensive. So I got it when it was still reasonable, and now it's twice as much as what I paid for at the time. So very glad to have this because I love Resident Evil. Okay, and at number 3, we have Resident Evil 2. Same thing. All versions of this, in terms of PlayStation 1, Dreamcast, and now GameCube, they're all great ways to play it. They're all good. They're all different from each other a little bit slightly in certain ways. I think the Dreamcast versions are probably the best, aside from the controls, but you can help that by getting a Retro Fighters Dreamcast controller that's a remade version of the controller that's much better than the original controllers, because Dreamcast controllers were not great. So yeah, Resident Evil 2 was my favorite Resident Evil for a long time, and it's easily, it's in my top 3 Resident Evils of all time. It's fantastic. I love Resident Evil 2. Even the 64 version of Resident Evil 2, which I also have, which is a rarer variant of it. It's not my rarest 64 game, but it's up in my top 15. That's a great way to play it too, because it's the only one from the original versions to have analog control, where instead of it being tank controls, it's wherever you point the joystick, that's where your character goes. And the 64 version was unique with that. And it even has its cutscenes that they managed to cram onto the cart for what it's worth. So the 64 version is also very noteworthy. Some people prefer it, and I can see why. All right, and number 2, we have Ultimate Muscle, the Kinnikuman Legacy. Probably butchered that. So this game is, I always wanted this because critics loved this game. It came out of nowhere, obviously based off of an anime. Critics loved it. I love wrestling games, and this is an over-the-top, well-done, polished wrestling game. And and it was getting harder and harder to get a hold of. I got it for probably $30. It wasn't bad. I didn't pay a whole lot for it, so I was very fortunate. This is a very crispy copy of it. Now it's worth a lot. And it's a really solid, fun wrestling game. And I really do love wrestling games a lot. The old school wrestling games from I would say from this and before, I just love wrestling games. Especially on the Nintendo 64, WCW versus NWO. That's my favorite wrestling game of all time. Or WCW NWO Revenge, specifically. All right. And at number 1, we have Fire Emblem Path of Radiance. Never played this. I have this and the one on Wii. And I mean, maybe I have 2 or 3 of these Fire Emblem. I've never played a Fire Emblem. I just have a few of them. Never knew this was going to go up in value. I just knew it was it was just a good game to have on the GameCube, and people like it. It was going to be worth playing. And because I love tactical turn-based RPGs, but man, this thing has really gone up in value that I never expected. So happy I have it, and one of these days I'll play it. And I know, and Fire Emblem, of course, has a huge fan base, so I know there's going to be some people that are going to be happy to see this and happy to know that, oh, wow, pretty much your entire Fire Emblem collection is all worth money. So especially ones like this. So, all right, that's my top 10 most valuable GameCube games. If you like this content, give it a like, subscribe, hit the notification bell if you want to keep up with my videos, because I post pretty consistently, anywhere from 2 to 3 or even 4 or 5 or 6 videos a week, really, at this rate. So, and plan on doing more, and I plan on doing different types of videos. So, all right, if anything, appreciate you watching. Have a wonderful day.